Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Teena Jha. Infrastructure is one of the major drivers of our economy. More investment in infrastructure translates into more growth and productivity. It also generates better physical and digital access and many future opportunities. Throughout its tenure, the current NDA government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has been relentlessly pushing for infrastructure development. Since 2014, the country has seen a palpable growth in roadways, railways, metros, waterways, and other rapid transport systems. Airports have come up in remote areas, while the northeastern region has been connected by an expanded train network. The government's focus has been to bridge India's infrastructure gap amid a booming population. Today's In-Depth focuses on the development of the road and highway sector in India, the big infra projects under the Modi government, and how new age infrastructure projects are transforming the country. Comprising connectivity, communication, and essential facilities, infrastructure is the cornerstone of economic growth. It plays a significant role in the economy's overall development process. In this report, let's talk about the outlook of this sector, its size, nature of investment, and initiatives taken by the government.
Infrastructure sector is a key driver for the economy. It is responsible for India's overall development. The infrastructure sector includes power, bridges, dams, roads and urban infrastructure. The private sector is emerging as a key player in building infrastructure, be it roads or communication lines, power and airports. The Union Budget 2018-19 allocated nearly 65,000 crore rupees for infrastructure. In the road sector, the government's policy to increase private sector participation has proved a success, with many private players entering the business. Through the public-private partnership model, India is expected to become the third largest construction market globally by 2022. All villages in India will be connected through a road network by 2019 under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana.
You see, infrastructure has to have the highest priority, because unless we create good quality, international quality infrastructure, we will not be able to move our goods properly. And if we are not competitive in terms of prices, we will not be able to compete in the globalized economy. So it is very necessary that we create a global standard infrastructure. And when we say infrastructure, what does it mean? Primarily, it is the road network, the rail network, the air network, and even the shipping network. And all these things require huge amount of money. And right from 2014 until this year, we have been providing adequate amount of resources for these infrastructure projects. Not only these infrastructure, even in the urban areas, huge amount of money has been spent on urban infrastructure, whether it is under Smart City program or under Hriday or under Amrit. A huge amount of money has been given to the state government, because urban development is a state subject. Coming to the rural areas, if you see the rural roads, wherever you go in the country, today you will find very good quality rural roads everywhere in the country. So that requires huge amount of money, and that has done wonderfully well.
In August 2017, a new metro rail policy was announced to boost private investment in the sector. The government is also working on improving energy infrastructure in the country, and investment opportunities worth 21,14,550 crore rupees will be available in the sector in the coming 10 years. According to the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, foreign direct investment received in construction development sector, including townships, housing, build-up infrastructure and construction development projects from April 2000 to June 2018 stood at 1,75,296 crore rupees. India needs investment worth 50 trillion rupees in infrastructure by 2022 to have sustainable development. The country is witnessing significant interest from international investors in the infrastructure space. In June 2018, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank announced 1,40,970 lakh rupees into the National Investment and Infrastructure Fund.
So one major departure is that earlier we had what is called PPP, public-private partnership. So that is now virtually come to an end. So most infrastructure is being built by the government or entirely by the private sector, of which there isn't much. So roads are being built by the PWD, or the central government and the state government, and the one new thrust has been given to waterways. So that also has seen a lot of outlay and money has been spent.
The government is taking every possible initiative to boost the infrastructure sector. Some big announcements in Union Budget 2018 and 19 to give a fillip to this sector were massive push to the infrastructure sector by allocating 5.97 lakh crore rupees. Railways received the highest ever budgetary allocation of 1.48 trillion rupees. 16,000 crore rupees towards Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana scheme. 4,200 crore rupees to increase capacity of Green Energy Corridor project along with other wind and solar power projects. Allocation of 10,000 crore rupees to boost telecom infrastructure. A new committee to lay down standards for metro rail systems was approved in June 2018. 2.05 lakh crore rupees for the Smart Cities mission. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Transport infrastructure is one of the most important factors for a country's progress. By linking producers to markets, workers to jobs, students to schools, and the sick to hospitals, roads are vital to any development agenda. The Narendra Modi-led government has made development of roads and highways a priority area. The Road Transport and Highways Ministry set itself a target to increase national highways to 2 lakh kilometers by 2022. In our next report, let's take a look at the way road and highways have developed in the last 5 years. The infrastructure sector employs 44 million people. It contributes 9% to India's GDP. The sector is a key focus area of the Modi-led NDA government. Starting with an allocation of around 1.81 lakh crore in financial year 2014-15, the expenditure towards infrastructure reached 4.94 lakh crore in 2017-18. In 2018-19, the government's outlay for infrastructure jumped to 6 lakh crore, an increase of over 20% than the previous year. Construction of roads has been one of the biggest achievements of the NDA government. Between 2014-15 and 2018-19, overall budgetary allocation to the highway sector increased from 32,000 crore rupees to 71,000 crore rupees. In 2018, highway construction reached 9,829 kilometers, built at an average of 26.93 kilometers per day. The target is to construct 10,000 kilometers of national highways in 2019 alone. By 2022, a total of 2 lakh kilometers of national highways are expected to be completed. Around 200 road projects worth 1.5 lakh crore rupees are likely to be completed by mid-2019. Among these, Maharashtra has the highest number of 52 ongoing projects worth 38,029 crore rupees. Uttar Pradesh has 45 projects worth 37,926 crore rupees. Rajasthan has 28 projects worth 21,292 crore rupees, while Gujarat has 27 projects worth 24,098 crore rupees. Madhya Pradesh has 26 ongoing projects worth 16,245 crore rupees. For strategic infrastructure projects in the northeast, a separate National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited has been set up. 1,90,000 crore rupees have been sanctioned for road projects spanning over 14,000 kilometers in the northeast region. India has also come a long way in connecting remote areas through roads and highways. In 2017-18, 47,447 kilometers of roads were constructed under Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana.
You see, again, economic challenge is that we must have resources, financial resources, well in time, number one. And number two, wherever possible, we must tap the private enterprise. Somehow, the private sector is not coming forward to invest. They are interested in taking EPC projects, but they don't want to invest in the road projects somehow. So that's a little bit of a problem. And secondly, we got to have the clearances before we start a project. Whether it's a question of availability of land under the Land Acquisition Act, or whether it's a question of getting the clearances from the Forest and Environment Ministry, or getting clearances from the utility. Today, a lot of time is spent on getting the clearances from all these department ministries, and that is killing our projects, because if there is a time overrun, there will be a cost overrun, and finally those benefits will not accrue to the citizen. So we got to create mechanisms so that there is some kind of an empowered either committee or some kind of a mechanism so that interdepartmental, interministerial issues are resolved in no time, and there is finality on that decision.
However, experts believe the highways sector has not kept pace with innovative technologies. The biggest challenge faced by the road construction industry is availability of quality building material for different terrains. Despite easing regulations, private infra investment has lagged substantially, largely because banks are unwilling or lack capacity to fund projects. Further, given the hardening of global and domestic interest rates, asset owners see deterioration in the value of their assets. Also, since most PPP projects are capital intensive, it is likely to result in availability of lower cash flow for reinvestment. There is also need for more efficient processes in credit risk pricing. Credit ratings must reflect embedded credit risk to enable higher flow of credit. Funding constraints, land acquisition issues, delays related to identification and award of projects, delay in environmental clearance, and shortage of skilled manpower are some other roadblocks.
Jewar Airport. I had been hearing about Jewar Airport for last almost 15 years kind of thing. And today when you go to T3 or T2 or T1, there is overcrowding. You got to have another very good quality, international quality airport in the vicinity of Delhi, and that is Jewar. But now it is being said that it will take about 5 years. Can we do something so that it can be completed within say 3 years or 3.5 years or 4 years? And then we must make use of the latest technology, the best technology, and it has to be futuristic in nature. I expect that there should be not only an incremental improvement in the budget allocation, but there should be a substantial improvement in terms of budget allocation, maybe a quantum improvement, because this is the last year and because of the election, things may not move as fast as we expect. So it's better to make allocation well in time and adequately.
The infrastructure sector has seen path-breaking initiatives in the past few years. Policies have been formulated, regulations enacted, massive projects launched, and innovative funding mechanisms introduced. However, estimates suggest India needs to spend $454.8 billion on infrastructure development over 5 years between 2015 to 2020, with 70% of funds needed for roads and urban infrastructure segments. According to the Economic Survey 2018, India needs about $4.5 trillion in the next 25 years for infrastructure development. The global infrastructure outlook reflects that rising income levels and economic prosperity is likely to further drive demand for infrastructure investment in India over the next 25 years. And by 2022, India is expected to become the third largest construction market globally. The real estate sector is estimated to grow to $650 billion by 2025 and surpass $850 billion by 2028 to touch $1 trillion by 2030. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Over Over the years, the speed of road and highways construction has become the benchmark for India's infrastructure creation. The NDA government's strong push for infrastructure development has been not just for new projects, but also clearing stalled projects of the previous governments. The government currently is building roads and highways at a remarkable pace, as it believes that highway development and road connectivity is a major contributor to the economy. In our next report, let's take a look at the landmark projects of the current NDA government.
The Narendra Modi-led NDA government launched many ambitious infrastructure projects in its tenure. It is also working hard on many projects that it can showcase as major infrastructural achievements. Quite a few of these projects, including roads, railway sectors and waterways, have already been completed. Some are being implemented with strict deadlines to ensure their completion on time. In the list of big projects, on December 25, 2018, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Bogibeel Bridge in Assam. It will connect the south bank of the Brahmaputra River in Assam's Dibrugarh to Silapathar in Dhimji bordering Arunachal Pradesh. The 4.9-kilometer long bridge is Asia's second longest rail-cum-road bridge. The Bogibeel Bridge boosts defense logistics along the China border and reduces travel time for rail passengers and road users. It also reduces distance to the northeast region by 165 km. Another achievement included the Western Peripheral Expressway project. The Prime Minister inaugurated Kundli-Manesar-Palwal Western Peripheral Expressway on 19th November 2018 in order to cut down the extra traffic in Delhi. The expressway forms a ring road around Delhi with the length of 270 km and allows a bypass for traffic not meant for Delhi and headed towards the neighbouring states of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir.
Let's take Delhi first. Eastern Peripheral, which was pending completion for last many years. Today is a reality. You take Eastern Peripheral and from Greater Noida to say Kundli, you will reach in no time without any problem. And not only that, the toll is being collected on the basis of the distance travelled by you. Similarly, even the Western Peripheral, which has been inaugurated only recently by the Prime Minister, so that has been completed. From here to Meerut Expressway, the first phase is already over and that was completed before time.
Big works in the pipeline include the Bharatmala project, which is one of the biggest highway construction projects in Indian history. The ambitious Bharatmala Pariyojana is a centrally funded road and highways project. The total investment for 83,677 km committed new highways is estimated at 5.35 lakh crore rupees. It aims at linking India's west to east land border from Gujarat to Mizoram. It will also link a road network in coastal states from Maharashtra to West Bengal.
Again, Bharatmala, that means that all our port towns should get connected. It will help not only in moving the goods from place 1 to place B, it will also help us in having some strategic advantages when we want to move our military hardware or the military personnel, that is second. And even for export and import, that will help us a lot. And finally, when you create good quality road infrastructure under that Bharatmala, the local communities and the local population, they'll get benefited a lot.
A significant project in the Chardham-Highway or the Chardham-Mahamarg Vikas Pariyojana, an ambitious initiative. It improves connectivity to the Chardham pilgrimage centers in the Himalayas. The government plans to develop around 900 km of national highways in Uttarakhand at a cost of 12,000 crore rupees. An important work is the Sagarmala project that promotes port-led direct and indirect development and provides infrastructure to transport goods to and from ports quickly, efficiently and cost-effectively. The government wants to implement it by May 2019.
Consistently, we have been providing more and more funds for highways, bridges, roads, etc. If you look around, even in Delhi, from Delhi to say Meerut Express, huge amount of money has been spent, and that infrastructure is today available for the use. So wherever you go, the 4-laning, 6-laning, and recently you must have read in the newspaper that we are going to create a very good quality road from Delhi to Bombay. It's a 6-lane kind of a thing, and it will shorten the distance by almost 300 or 200 kilometers.
Meanwhile, 40 years after the proposal, construction on the sea bridge between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai took off last year. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link will be country's longest sea bridge at 22.5 km. It will connect Mumbai's eastern suburbs with the mainland through a 16.5 km sea bridge and a viaduct. The project will cost around 18,000 crore rupees and will complete it by 2019. It will connect Sewri in central East Mumbai with Nahava Seva across the harbour. Another ambitious project is inland waterways. The government has planned inland waterways on rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra and Mahanadi. It is spending around 4,000 crore rupees to develop waterway facilities in Ganga and aims at promoting inland waterways as a cheaper and more environment-friendly means of transport. The multimodal terminals are being built as part of the central government's Jal Marg Vikas project. The Chenab Bridge over Chenab River in Jammu and Kashmir is the world's highest bridge, which is expected to be 35 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower. At 359 meters above the river, it will be built at a cost of 1,198 crore rupees. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on some other subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback and suggestions. Thanks very much for your time.